His name is Allan Lichtman. He developed his own scientific method, which has correctly forecast the past 8 US election results.
And now the professor has a new prediction. He believes that Donald Trump will be impeached within the first 3 months of taking office.
If true, that would see Mr. Trump becoming the first sitting president to be convicted of a crime and removed from office. So the professor joins us now from Washington. Very good morning to you. Can you just explain,
Thank you so much.
What does it mean for him to be impeached, and what do you think he will be impeached for?
Well, let's step back a minute. I never said within the first 3 months. I just said he was likely to be impeached. And remember, impeachment in America is not conviction. Impeachment is a charge by the House of Representatives. You still have to be convicted by the Senate, and you can always resign in between, which would get you out of office without a conviction on your hands.
If he was to be impeached, you know, within the next year or something, what effect would that have on America, and what rage would it cause amongst the people that voted for him?
Let's not forget, first of all, that only a minority of the actual voters voted for him. He lost to Hillary Clinton by 2 million votes, plus several million votes were gathered by third-party candidates as well. So he was a very much of a minority president. And we have some precedents for impeachments and resignations. Bill Clinton was impeached in the late 1990s, although not convicted. Richard Nixon resigned rather than being impeached and convicted, which surely would have happened. And the Republic trotted on quite well despite those events. Certainly there will be a rage among Trump supporters, but we've had that before, and I think the Republic can weather it.
OK, Professor, now let's get to what is really fascinating about you, which is you are an astonishingly good predictor. So for the last 30 years, you have consistently and accurately predicted who would become president. What was really fascinating was when everybody moved against Trump in the last 2 months, when everyone was saying from the moment that sex tape video came out, it's all over, he hasn't got a chance. All the pollsters were saying he's gone, it's busted, it's done. I think you and me were about the only 2 people left in the world who thought he could still win.
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore didn't want him to, but thought that actually he could see a way he could. You, though, were very, very, very firm, and I was watching what you were saying in public as the weeks went on, and you kept saying, no, my model still says he wins. Your model is based on 13 predictive factors, isn't it? Just summarise really how it works.
Yeah, my model says forget the polls, forget the pundits, that's all nonsense. Look at history, and what history shows us is the fate of incumbent parties is dependent upon how well they govern and how strong they are. And the 13 keys are ways of gauging the strength and performance of the party holding the White House, in this case, the Democrats. And there were obvious vulnerabilities based on my system. To summarize a few of them, the Democrats took a pasting in the midterms of 2014. They didn't have a sitting president running. Open seats are tough to defend. With Bernie Sanders, the nominee, Hillary Clinton had a very contentious struggle. There was that pesky third party, Gary Johnson, out there. And my system goes term by term. And in the second term, the Obama administration did not have a big domestic policy accomplishment like the Affordable Care Act in the first term. And they didn't have a big foreign policy success like the dispatch of bin Laden in the first term. So looking at these and some other vulnerabilities is the reason why I not only predicted that Donald Trump would win, I doubled down on that prediction after the sex tapes and before the FBI Comey letter that everyone said was so damaging to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, you did, Professor, and I have to hand it to you.
Yeah.
You were absolutely resolute, and I take my hat off to you. It's
and if
very
you're right
impressive.
about that, it would be interesting to see if you're right about Donald Trump being impeached. Professor Lichtman, thank you very much
Can I ask
indeed.
one last question of the Professor?
No, apparently the line is about to drop out.
Can you very quickly tell me who's going to win the Premier League in England?
I haven't the foggiest idea, but send me the info and I'll plug it into my computer.
Good. We look forward to that. Thanks very much indeed.